Is your coochie having problems? Is it all out of balance, out of whack, out of sequence? Might be stanking a little bit. Hormones all over the place. Can't tell you up from down. Well, Iyanla can't fix that, but this Blossom can, honey. Drop down in the description box and get your old vajayjay back. She'll thank you later. Blossom! I don't know if y'all can tell I've been crying because I always find it a magical and just a out of body experience when God shows up through people. Like when you have an opportunity to just touch God. And watching this episode of Iyanla Van Zandt and Ann and Shatara's son Tony, I just felt the presence of God through that boy. The moment he stepped on the screen, I was like, there is something so special about this young man. And I was just in the bed just weeping and weeping and weeping, and we gonna talk. I can't believe I'm this non-composed. We gonna talk about it. Here you go. Nessa girl, this episode of Iyanla Fix My Life that y'all have been asking me to review is special to me for so many reasons. A, it's residents from Miami, but B, I actually know Ann. Me and Ann are friends, and me and Ann share a lot of mutual friends and overlapping social circles. And I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting to come on and, I don't know, crack some jokes and dig through some stuff. I didn't think I was going to catch the Holy Ghost in my damn bed talking about Tony. I don't know. It's so funny. In this moment, I don't even want to do the review. I just want to talk about Tony. Like, I feel so much love pumping out of my chest right now, just being able to be in the presence of this boy. I don't know why it's making me cry the way it is. I don't. But there's just something that just brought so much love and positivity and joy out of me, and just listening to him talk, like my heart just melted the whole time. I don't even know this young man, but I love him and I wish the best for his life. And you can just tell God has a special calling for this boy's life. Like, whoa, I've never felt like this before. Especially about no teenager through no television. This is very weird for me right now. But the Lord will move you in weird ways. Oh, Jesus, quit and pull it together. All right, so there was so much I want to say, right? So before we get into the episode, I couldn't wait to watch it so I could talk about it, because Ann's story. So let me back up. The topic of my thesis today is normalizing bullshit, right? And that's going to be the great takeaway from this video and the takeaway from this whole Iyanla Van Zandt situation. And coupled with, just the us living in this Instagram, Cardi B, reality TV, strippers is winning, rappers and popping pills and doing lean. We have only yet to see the vestiges of us as a society normalizing bullshit. Like, we don't truly know what the impact of all these Kardashians and WAP and just all this other, morally corrupt shit that we've normalized and indulged in is going to have on future generations. Now, you look at, like, before I even get into the breakdown of the family, I never quite understood my own not recognizing the pathology that will cause people to end up in relationships with drug dealers or just in those type of environments and it being normal. I never understood the true pathology behind it, and that's because where me and Ann are from, Opelika, Care City, Liberty City, Overtown, Little Haiti, those inner city neighborhoods in Miami, especially in the 90s, the shit was so common. Like, that is what we grew up seeing. You saw the dope boys coming down the way in the box Chevys on the rails with the music playing. You saw that woman that had on the iceberg and she had on Fendi and she had on Prada, and everybody in the streets wanted to be like her, and they knew she was XYZ old lady, and that's why she always had the baddest car, the baddest nails, the baddest this. And you know, I did another video, the Lisa Ray video, when I was talking about Lisa Ray's mom's situation with her dad was another vestige of slavery. And oftentimes, drug dealing in the African American community and people being attracted to the lifestyle that drug dealing affords is another one of those vestiges of systematic racism, oppression, and poverty. You know what I'm saying? For those who end up selling drugs, many times their parents with drugs, uncles with drugs, people in influential positions around them were in drugs. But those persons got into drugs because shit, it's a lack of fucking opportunity. Look at where we at. Look at these garbage on the floor, these roaches, these rats. Ain't nobody from my hood becoming no doctor. I ain't never seen no doctor come from out of here. Ain't nobody going to college, man. How we gonna pay for that? You know what I'm saying? So people ended up turning to drugs, and it ends up feeling like they only way out. Same thing with stripping and whatnot. Okay, lack of opportunity. I ain't got no high school diploma, but I don't want to be poor. Shit, I deserve to live. I deserve to have a car. I deserve to have the things that all those other people had that had opportunities that I didn't. So, bitch, I'm gonna go get on the pole so I can and make that money. And that money will be the great equalizer. It will afford me the same lifestyle that the bitch that got the law degree or the medical degree got. Tony got me crying, snot coming all out the damn nose and carrying on. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm keeping it all the way real for the 99 and the 2000 at 2:38 in the morning. And so what I did not recognize and what we did not understand, you would look at somebody like Ann's mother, who just looks like, honestly and truthfully, she looks like an outstanding, upstanding, church-going woman, professional woman, Bahamian woman, strict, don't play. And that was very powerful when you realize it really didn't have a lot to do with societal or outside factors, outside environmental factors, or what Ann and her sister saw on the outside. It started at home. It started at home. My daddy was a drug dealer. And not only was he a drug dealer, but my mama made it all right. So then shit, I ain't see nothing wrong with dating one and marrying one. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I think that was a very, 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 very powerful truth that had to be told. And oftentimes, and I'm not blaming folks, because listen, life is complicated. And, you know, Iyanla was looking at Ann's mom like, well, when you find out he was a drug dealer and you was with him, well, you stayed. And mama said, no. He was doing construction, we got married, then he got into drugs. And you know what, at that point, yeah, we got kids, we got bills, this money is affording me a lifestyle, and I'm feeling like, long as he kind of keep it away from me, but bring the money home, you know, I'm just going to keep going along to get along. I see and understand how somebody could get trapped in that situation, especially if your marriage is relatively loving and the man is good to you. You just like, damn, I don't want him to be doing this, but he is, but I'm not just gonna up and leave them, especially if ain't much changed around my home front and the immediate presence of danger is not there. It was my heart goes out to Shatara because I could totally see how, in trying to process grief, anger, and all these other emotions that you don't know where to put, how that could manifest itself into blame and resentment towards Ann. She was like, here it is, fucking around with you. You know what I'm saying? My 2 children got disabilities, and you tootsie rolling around the world living the good life, and your kids are just fine. Like, I would be bitter, mad, and resentful too. And then you saw how Iyanla said, do you see how that looks? Like, your children were gone. At a children's party, your children are gone. I come around your house and bring my kids over here, and then my kids end up getting hurt. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that I love. When we got to the end of the episode, and when Iyanla helped the entire family understand the pathology of the drug dealer and how they normalized the bullshit, I love how open Shatara was to understanding her role in this. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you were well aware that your sister was with a dope boy, and as a mother, it is ultimately your job to protect your children at all costs. And you took your children to a hot spot. But the thing about it is, it's only now a hot spot in hindsight. Because for them, because the bullshit had been normalized, the hot spot was home. They didn't view it as a hot spot. I'm going around my sister's house. Now take it from me, and y'all hate when I be throwing up how I was raised, this, that, and the third, and how that shit don't run in my family. It don't. You know what I'm saying? So like, had my mother would have known that that's what somebody's father, uncle, aunt, or whatever did, I would not have been allowed to go to that birthday party. Like, I would have, because that was not normal for us in my family. But because it was made normal to them. And another thing too, some of us, we have the ability to sit on our pedestals and be self-righteous and judge and pick and point at other people. But I want y'all to take a moment right now, those of y'all that sit in a goddamn drug dealer house right now listening to me, and ask yourself, how much bullshit have you normalized in your life? Because I'm sorry, y'all. And I tried to get on board with this sex work and adult work and stripping work and not slut shaming women and all this, but selling drugs and stripping is just not something that I think anybody grows up and wants to do. I don't think nobody want to get on no pole and have their pussy smelling like Newports and Heineken. I just don't. I don't think no little girl wakes up and says that, and I don't think ideally any young man wants to be in the street risking his life every day or his freedom. Those are just not things that normal people do. And if you are in earshot of my voice, I'm not trying to condemn you or make you feel bad, but plan your escape. Like, plan your escape. It's something better for you out there. It definitely is something better for you out there. Something that was very powerful when Ann was telling us, first of all, I'm gonna see if I can go back and find the Miami Herald articles about this shooting, because I would just love to read up on it. And I did not think that I would ever be this close to something so heinous. Like, honestly and truthfully, this is the type of shit that happens in movies. And while I don't know who the dude is, and I'm gonna ask Ann when I talk to her, I'm gonna see if I can get a follow-up interview with Ann. I'm sure she'll probably do it. He must have really been a big time, I mean big time, dope boy to even be in the crosshairs of people who are this ruthless and who literally tried to execute everybody in the damn party. Like, they literally tried to kill everybody. Now, you know, it was very powerful when Shatara was talking about Ann was her everything. She looked up to Ann, whatever her sister did, she wanted to do. And when Ann knocked on the door, and she told Shatara to run, and she ran, and Shatara ran and left her children on the porch. And Shatara, you know, was feeling guilty and said maybe she should have shielded her kids the way the deceased cousin did. And I'm here to offer Shatara this. That was your body's fight or flight response. That was your body's fight or flight response. Don't beat yourself up. That was not even your mind. Your body took over. Your mind shut down and your survival instincts took over and you ran. I just don't understand. And not to say that there should be a rule to massacring people. You massacre the adults and don't massacre the kids. But you got to be one evil son of a bitch to shoot a child. Especially a child that don't even resemble a grown person. I mean, little kids. Like, I just don't understand. I wonder, are they haunted by that? Like the bow. And then after you slaughter all these damn people, I don't know, my body would have went into shock and in a panic. And again, that's what we talk about, normalizing bullshit, normalizing violence, normalizing being trigger happy. That's why I'm very concerned about a lot of the shit that's going on in Chicago. Because it just seems to be the normal course of action that somebody make you mad, you go shoot up the damn place. And it seems as if everybody out in south side of Chicago is on board with that bullshit. And it's scary that these types of things have got normalized. Nevertheless, something else that I found that was very telling. You know, you look at Ann. Ann is a beautiful person. I know Ann socially from parties, and socially she's fun. We talk. You never know what people are carrying on the inside. And I would have never known, you know, the level of guilt that Ann was carrying associated with her past life. You know, when Ann held her head down and Iyanla said, "Have you ever told your sister how you feel?" And Ann was like, you know, nobody wants to hear that from me. It made me feel bad because it made me say Ann carries the responsibility for all of this. She feels responsible for all of it. And that is a huge burden for anyone to carry. And Iyanla pointed out something. She said, maybe if your sister was aware of your pain, and what you do go through, that it probably would actually help her in her healing, because from how she's looking at it, you're living the good life, going on about your life, party, and you've just moved on, and she can't move on because she has 2 special needs children as a result of this situation. So it was very powerful. I'm glad that at least Ann and Shatara, at least from what they told us on the show, that the worst of what they did to one another was just not speak to one another. But it never got nasty and layered with betrayals on betrayals on betrayals, because that would have made this situation very complicated. And you know, it's funny because I always tell people the root of most problems, 99% of problems, is communication. And it was a hard conversation to have. But in the grand scheme of things, a simple conversation fixed the problem. It was a hard conversation to have, but in the grand scheme of all these years and all this time and all this bitterness and anger and division, a conversation fixed it. Walls down, bare bones, heart-to-heart conversation fixed it. I'm really proud of Shatara when she said, I knew what was going on at your house, and I blamed you for all those years, but it was my job to protect my children, and I take that charge. I really think Ed needed that. I really think Ed needed that. And I also think Shatara needed to um, understand that too. That way she could take control of the narrative and take control of her life. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as the blame rests elsewhere, then you're the victim and somebody's done something to you. But when you take accountability for it, you can own it and move on. Now I want to tell you what would have hurt me and what I don't understand. And you got shot in the head for the nigga. A lot of your two of your family members died, and several others shot, and you stayed with him. Daughter, make it make sense. Was it love? Was it money? Was it the lifestyle? Which I'm feeling, me knowing Miami people the way I know Miami people, it was the lifestyle. Because hell, what else was I going to do? Go back to being broke? That would have been a problem for me. Being your mother, being Shatara, we don't all damn near die about this nigga, and you still with him. That would have been a problem for me. But then again, going back to normalizing bullshit, they probably did not see him for the devil that he was and blamed it on the people who came in there and did the killing, when in all actuality, he is a part of that puzzle, and so are y'all. When Ed said she wished she would have died that day, that was powerful too, because I can imagine feeling that way, having to live and carry on with a smile. I like ultimately the liberation that Tony was given. And I get when Iyanla said y'all could not talk to him about it because y'all hadn't even faced it. It was going to force y'all to have to relive it. But they really did do that boy a disservice by not giving him, all the pieces to the puzzle. Like him not even knowing that his father was a drug dealer. And granted, I know that's not something you sit down and just tell your child, hey, you know your daddy sold drugs. But he is old enough now, and I hope, and it feels as if he got the closure that he needed from the situation. But it was just surprising how everybody just ducked and dodged the situation. Trauma therapy definitely would be something that I think would be, hell, I don't know how they didn't do it sooner, to be quite honest. Because I'm going to tell you something. I think I'm a pretty strong person, but I know that my ass would be 900 pounds somewhere diabetic, because I would just get in the corner somewhere and just eat until I damn die if I've been through that. So I definitely commend Ed and Shatara for moving through it the best they could with the tools that they had. And I look forward to their journey now with the tools that Iyanla has given them. This was a very, 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 very powerful episode of Iyanla. Actually, I think it was actually one of the best. And what I like about it is this was one of the ones where we actually got some resolution versus like the Lisa Ray or some of them other ones that are just, shit was just left open-ended. I'm going to definitely get Ann on the line. Y'all drop that in the description box and write whatever questions y'all want me to ask Ann, because I'm sure y'all have some. And I'm going to see if I can get an interview Ann sometime this week before I go out of town. Other than that, y'all, more of the story, the takeaway: don't normalize bullshit. Ask yourself right now, what potential danger are you, your family, your children in as a result of normalizing bullshit, low vibrating, poor moral, poor thinking decisions and shit like that by normalizing it. Because it could be you. We are all one bad decision away from an atrocity or from a disaster. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. I'm gonna upload this. It's 3 o'clock in the damn morning. And kept my ass to bed. I'll call y'all hoes later. Bye. Stay up, Tony. We love you. Oh, bitch. I'm in here editing this call, girl. I got to get y'all back on the line.
So y'all remember the Susu? And y'all remember I did a $1,400 board? Needless to say, the Susu never paid out. And guess who got my fucking goddamn money? Annie, bitch. Annie is the one I did the Susu with. Oh yeah, we gonna need to do another goddamn interview and get Annie on the line and find out what the fuck going on with my fucking goddamn money. Bye.